Happy Vesuvius Day, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thank you for dropping in on our little happy hour. We appreciate you listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, here's a hand gesture just for you. You're welcome, YouTubers. Feel free to hit us up on the chat if you're listening through the radio at 105.1 FM or 1080 AM, online at 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, or if you ask your smart speaker, have you ever been to a volcano? And this is what you got. Use the fan text line. It's 503-2GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Use it. Use the text, use the chat to share your thoughts, ask questions, solicit advice, or answer me this, dear listeners. What are the odds that the Seattle Mariners make the postseason? Lowercase, if I told you the M's have been outscored by 38 runs in the last 6 games, what would you guess their win-loss record would be in those games?
Because they seem to surprise me every week, I'm going to guess it's around 500.
They're right at 500 in the last 6, despite being at. Well, listen, they only got outscored 62-24 against the top 2 teams in the National League Central, but they split. They win the series against the Cubs over the weekend. The getaway game didn't.
Randy Arozarena.
Oh, Randy. Don't even get me started. What do you think the odds are that the Mariners at this point make the postseason?
I'm going to guess it's plus money, probably plus 180.
Well, I don't have your betting odds. I'm asking you for the percentage. I should have been clear.
I'm going to go with 64%.
It's a 35%, which I think is, well, listen, they are 3 games back of both the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Do you think the Houston Astros or the Texas Rangers, who are tied at the top of the American League West, either of those teams have a winning record? I'll tell you right now, they do not.
Well, I'm going to let you know right now. I'm a gambling degenerate because
Nailed
the
it.
Seattle Mariners have around a plus 180 odds.
Look at you.
According to Sports Illustrated.
You put money on them this morning. Don't pretend that you guessed that.
I should have.
Yeah, there you go. I'll tell you, they have one of the easiest schedules in baseball when you get to September. They've got 3 against the Phillies starting tonight. So they went to Milwaukee, came home with no day off, picked right up with the Cubs. 1, 2 out of 3. Friday's game was epic. It was as good a game. The way that it was closed out was efficient. It was a hard-fought battle. Then you get Cade Anderson on Saturday, and that is where Randy Arozarena just wins it by himself. He gets a home run robbing catch. He leads off with a first-pitch home run, and he hits a walk-off game winner, all in the same game.
Again, I just love that we brought it up last week where it was who has all done this in MLB history, went back to however 1900.
1957, Vic Power led off a game with a home run and was the first player ever to finish a game that he led off with a home run with a walk-off home run. He did that in 1957. Nobody did it again until 2000 when Darren Erstad did it. Reed Johnson did it in 2003. Ian Kinsler in 2009. Chris Young in 2010.
Again, all these are years apart, months apart, a large amount of time. We just saw it happen in 5 days.
Pete Crow Armstrong did it. He's at both games. He's the one watching Randy's go over his head. On the 17th of August, Pete Crow Armstrong leads off a game with a home run, hits a game-winning home run as a walk-off, then led off the next game with a home run. He was the first guy ever to do that. I even joked about how dumb it is that we pull these stats at Pete Crow Armstrong, the first guy in Major League Baseball history to have a leadoff, walk-off, leadoff home run. Randy matched it 5 freaking days later. So funny. Randy Arozarena is now 6 consecutive years in the 2020 club. Do you know how many guys have done that?
Oh, hit me with that list. That's got to be, 10 tops?
There are 5 guys, including Randy Arozarena. He joins a guy named Barry Bonds, who did it 9 times.
Yeah, that's pretty great club to be in.
Bobby Bonds did it 7 times. Bobby Abreu did it 7 times. And a guy named Willie Mays had 6 consecutive years in the 2020 club. Welcome the velvet rope has been lifted. You are welcome into it. He got done with that 20th home run. He walked over the plate and held up 6 fingers because he knew what he accomplished.
This is going to be the largest offseason chase we've seen in a while for this guy.
He is 31 years old. I mean, he's not putting up 30-30. He's not putting up 40-40. Pete Crow Armstrong just hit the 30-30. But
the
he's
guys
consistent.
around him aren't doing well either.
No, but he is consistent. 6 consecutive years. He's 31 years old. Mariners have kind of made it somewhat known that they don't really plan on re-signing him. Otherwise, they would have offered him an extension last offseason. But I'd be very interested, man. That celebration for that walk-off was one of the most adrenaline-pumping sports fandom moments for a regular season game. It's pretty good. I mean, that just going around and just you can feel the energy. It did not look like a home run coming off his bat. He has freaking Weston Wilson and the hero from Friday's games, little Leo Rivas on base. So you go 8-9 hitter just to give you a chance for a walk-off to save Cade Anderson's first start, that your manager somehow decided that even though the kid had not thrown a major league start ever and had not thrown more than 80 pitches in any of his AA starts,
Let's just throw him out there against the
that he was going to
MVP.
keep. Let's just go back through the order for a third time. He gave up 2 hits twice through the order. I was watching that with my brother. He was pissed that Cade Anderson came back out in the 5th, or I guess in the 6th, and started off with a Pete Crow Armstrong off the yellow tape double. And you go, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm with you here, brother.
That's just what PCA does.
Yes, but again, facing him for the 3rd time, we're sitting there. My brother was already mad. Goes off the tape, and I just go, yeah, I don't like what they're doing here. Then they somehow get a miracle of miracles double play turned, and you now have 2 outs, 2 right-handers coming up, and you leave your lefty out there to give up back-to-back solo shots. Luckily, hey,
Dan Wilson's not making a good case for himself.
He did fine on Friday. Friday, all the decisions worked. Saturday, it's real ugly. But they make it through. They already had the series win going into Sunday. They lead off. Randy gets a leadoff home run. They've got a 2-0 lead. You're feeling pretty good about it. If anybody missed the game, it finished 19-2. The Cubs put up 19. 2 grand slams, including one off of Johnny Pareda. Congratulations to Bryce Miller. He threw the most walks in a single outing in his career, but he's left out there to just roast because Dan Wilson doesn't want to pull him out because the bullpen's going to be tired. And what do they get as a reward for this grueling weekend where they have 2 walk-off wins and then get absolutely housed yesterday? Congratulations, you get the Philadelphia Phillies, who have won 9 consecutive games. Did you see how they won yesterday?
No, I didn't.
They are down 4 runs with 2 outs in the 9th. Kyle Schwarber is seen laughing in the dugout with Trey Turner going, I can't believe we might get ourselves back into it. Then walks up to the plate and hits a walk-off home run.
6 runs in the 9th inning?
Walk-off home run by Kyle Schwarber, 9 straight W's.
That's a real tough one for
St.
Riley O'Brien.
Yeah.
Came in, 0.2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 6 earned runs.
The home run that the walk-off that Arozarena had against the Cubs, Josh Webb had not given up a run in 17 outings. Walk-off home runs never fun. Absolutely never fun. But yeah, when you get Schwarber making his way to the plate in an inning that's already spiraling out of control, but just the visual of the dude just sitting there just chuckling. Listen, nobody's expecting them to get to a 12-game win streak, right? So they'll drop at least 1, maybe 2 to the Mariners. You get through this. We've talked about this schedule a bunch. You get through this, you get another East Coast road trip. You're heading to Toronto, and then you get the Red Sox, who have been insanely hot. That's your upcoming schedule if you're the Seattle Mariners that will get you through August. Once you get into September, things get a lot easier. So you'll play Boston on Monday the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. After that, 4 with the A's. Then you get 3 head-to-head against Texas. Right now, 3 games ahead of you in the division. Then you get 3 with the A's, 3 more with the Angels, 3 with the Rockies. You get 2 with the Astros, who fired their general manager today or mutually parted ways with their general manager today, who you have a 9-2 record against so far this season.
But you're hoping that you carry over the 2 bad series. I mean, playing the 2 bad teams of the Athletics and the Angels. You hope you carry over
and the
that
Rockies.
Series and
Well,
the Rockies.
of course. Well, yeah, but it lines up exactly how you want. So you have, here's all your games. You get 4 against the A's, 3 against the Rangers, 3 against the A's, 3 against the Angels, 3 against the Rockies, 2 against the Astros, and 4 against the Angels. You play the 3 of the worst teams in baseball, plus the 2 teams ahead of you in the division. They have a 35% chance of making the postseason.
That's a real good string of games to do it.
It's. I mean, you have to do something against. You can't just get swept by the Phillies. You have to go out there and put up a fight. Congratulations, you got a win against the Brewers. They're the best team in baseball. You took 2 from the Cubs. Nice work. Maybe don't give up, 17 run deficits in games that you lose or 22-0. But hey, lose however you want. Win a couple games. You need to get 1. I'd love to see you get 2 against the Phillies. You need to go on this road trip, and you need to do something against Toronto and Boston. You need to stay within striking distance of both the Astros and the Rangers. You have the easiest schedule. I mean, find an easier month that somebody plays in baseball ever than that. 7 games against the A's, 7 games against the Angels, 3 against the Rockies, and the 2 teams you have to catch in the division.
It's doable.
I mean,
it's very doable.
And then you get in as one of the hottest teams in baseball, except for you played against absolute chumps, and who knows what happens. But I'm not saying it's a good team. Mm-hmm. I'm not even saying necessarily that I hope they make the playoffs, because I don't think they're going to do anything if they get there. They've got a lot of flaws. They play terrible defense. Somehow, over the weekend, Brendan Donovan, who has been playing well since coming back from injury, gets beamed in the head while he's in the cage and is scratched 10 minutes before the game. He is spending 7 days in concussion protocol. This is what the Mariners are doing. They still have 6. They traded away one of their starters because they had 6. Now they've brought up Cade Anderson, who looked great, and now you have another 6-man rotation problem. Put somebody in the bullpen. I don't care who it is. I don't want it to be Cade Anderson after what he did. I don't want it to be Logan Gilbert, who's on the mound tonight. Just pick somebody. Pick a name. Pick 2 names. I don't care. But it's all there in front of you, which we've been saying all season, which is probably a bad thing. At 2:30 today, we're going to talk with Will Ortner. Seahawks had a eventful, in the bad kind of way, preseason game. You lose 2 guys with long-term...
Kind of just a big weekend in general for the Seahawks.
Well, yeah, we talked about Jake Bobo at the end of last week.
Mm-hmm.
He was lost on Friday, so he's out for the season. You have 2 long-term injuries over the game against Tennessee. I don't know if Tennessee is any good. They played their starters. The Seahawks played their backups, and I'm going to ask Will, is Cam Ward any good? I have a hard time telling. We'll ask him. We'll see what he thinks. We'll do that conversation at 2:30. But right now, we need to get into something we call the Daily Buzz. Someone is spitting glitter courtside at Portland Fire games, and it's not Enes Kanter Freedom. The Cleveland Browns have made a quarterback decision between Gropey McOverpaid and Nepo Star 3000, and the slowest player in baseball steals bag. All that in the Daily Buzz. We do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
The biggest Anderson.
Well, the Portland Fire had a very slim chance of making the postseason, but they lost on Friday. They lost on Sunday. But good news, they have a new glitter-snorting mascot. Rose is out there on the sidelines to entertain the children. There were clues sprinkled all over the Rose City before the unveiling, but now they have their magic dragon who breathes glitter, not fire. The Portland Fire have a glitter-breathing dragon. Congratulations. Also, the Thorns and Fire have opened their joint training facility. Raj Sports officially unveiled the Kaiser Permanente Center, a dual-sport shared training facility designed specifically for professional women's athletes. This is more of Portland trying to be the epicenter for women's sports, and I say, as a girl dad, hell yeah. Do it, Raj Sports. So I have not seen much detail on the facility, but I just read a quick blurb on it. Apparently it's pretty awesome. So congratulations on that.
Keep it going.
Yeah, amen. I have no problem with this. The softball team was a big hit. We had our friend Jen Ellis in here who was telling us about the excitement of those games. Keep it rolling. Let's get a professional women's lacrosse team here, and then the kids will be really excited. I might go, hey, you want to go to a sporting event, instead of just looking at me and going, ugh. They might actually get excited. They did ask about going to another Fire game. I will say the atmosphere at the Fire game's absolutely awesome. Maybe I'll see about getting them to a Thorns game too, but really fun and cool that the city is embracing women's sports. One more thing while we're talking about Portland sports, negotiations are apparently underway. This is for a long-term deal between the Portland City Council, the Moda Center, and the Blazers. They are apparently going to engage in bi-weekly meetings, and they're going to meet twice a week until they can figure out how the hell to get that old-ass building renovated.
The Buzz.
Well, I told you already, there has been a decision. The Cleveland Browns have decided who they're going to play at quarterback. Is it the guy that is constantly getting trolled by everybody on the other team, whether it's just yelling at him from the sidelines or using his own celebration against him when they pick him off in preseason games? Or is it the guy that absolutely hates the fans for booing him, even though he's the scumbag that brought it all on himself by A, playing terrible football, B, getting one of the richest contracts on the most guaranteed money, despite going to be on the players exempt list from the NFL because he's a scumbag? Oh, it's that guy. Deshaun Watson is your starter in Cleveland. Why on earth did the Cleveland Browns ever come back? When they moved out of Cleveland and became the Baltimore Ravens, they should have just stayed gone. It would have been the best thing for everybody, but here we are.
I agree.
Deshaun Watson is your starting quarterback. Who do
Just
they?
bad. I mean,
Yeah,
they're just going to be bad.
it's the whole thing. It's going to be awful. It does bode well for me, who made, I think, a wise decision to bet you that the AFC North will have
32
less than 32 wins. Mike McCarthy says the Steelers are at an impasse with cornerback Joey Porter Jr. They have been trying to get it all figured out, but they cannot get together on a long-term contract. Also, Joey Porter Jr. remains sidelined
Pay him.
on the physically, well, you can't pay him if you can't play. He's physically unable to perform. He's on a list with the name that bears the designation. I mean, what do you want from that guy? A couple other moves around the NFL. Kayshon Boutte is leaving New England and will be headed to the Houston Texans. They obviously suffered some depth issues at the wide receiver position when Jaden Higgins went down with a torn ACL. In return, Houston is sending back safety Jalen Reed, who played 7 games as a 6th-round rookie in 2025, and they are also getting a 2028 7th-round pick for Boutte. So there you have that. Ashton Jeanty, it sounds like his injury is just a sprained ankle, not able to put any weight on his leg. Kind of a scary moment, a practice collision over the weekend. The Saints have made a trade to bolster their running back room. They are getting, who is it? Zamir White, running back from the 49ers. I don't know anything about Zamir White. Do you know?
Drafted by the Vegas Raiders, was a super high fantasy football prospect.
Oh.
I believe the year before Ashton Jeanty got drafted, there was a lot of praise for Zamir White in the same ways that there was a lot of praise for Cam Akers when Cam Akers was originally in Los Angeles. Just didn't pan out.
Gotcha. Deion Jones is a linebacker going back to the Saints, or to the 49ers from the Saints in that one. And George Kittle has rejoined practices for the San Francisco 49ers.
The Buzz.
All right, let's go over to baseball. Did you watch any of the Little League Classic? Is that what they call it?
The Little League World Series?
No.
Oh.
The Classic, where you send out two
yes, I did
teams,
see.
Brewers, Braves, out there playing. There was a group of 12-year-olds that were absolutely hounding Michael Harris II. Hit a home run for us, hit a home run for us, hit a home run for us. What does he do?
Hits a home run.
Hit
for
a
him.
late home run for them. They win 4-2. That game is just a ton of fun, everything that goes around it. What was really sad, though, I was watching it with a group of people, was not watching it incredibly closely, but the voice of Carl Ravitch coming through the TV just made me realize that he is already gone. He is only going through the motions and going through the schedule because he had an agreement with ESPN saying that, hey, if you want to, we'll just let you hang out. So they've already announced his firing. He will no longer be with ESPN. And that game was really, really cool, but it kind of a little bittersweet hearing Carl Ravitch on the broadcast. Dodgers won their 6th straight. That's a tie for their longest win streak of the year. I mean, the Dodgers have been good all year, and they're sitting in first place.
Not really streaky, but just winning games where they can.
Yes, but here's the thing. Blake Snell was out for a long time. They added Tarek Skubal. Tarek Skubal over the weekend had 11 strikeouts in his first win. Snell had a nice little shutout against the Pirates. They sweep that series in 6 straight wins. So getting healthy, adding pitching all at the right time. They're going to put Edwin Diaz in low leverage spots and try to figure out their bullpen. But as you get closer to the end of the season, watching them kind of shake things out is a little bit scary for the rest of baseball. 2 highlights worth watching. If you didn't catch either of these over the weekend, the first one, slowest player in baseball per StatCast. Who do you think runs the bases slower than anybody? It's not Giancarlo Stanton, who hurt his other calf over the weekend, so is likely out for the rest of the year. He's rehabbing one calf and hurt the other. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Toronto catcher Alejandro Kirk.
Catcher, yes. Toronto, no. It is the Kansas City Royals catcher Salvador Perez has his 7th
I knew it was a big
career
boy.
stolen base in 15 career seasons. Has not had a stolen base in 5 seasons, but he got one over the weekend. And his celebration at second base is worth the watch. His slide, you could probably go without that, but it is hilarious. And the other one you need to watch is Jacob Young playing center field for the Nationals. I don't know what stadium they were at, but it's got like the big neon PNC Bank sign, and whatever PNC Bank paid for that sign, well worth it, because he scales the 14-foot wall and makes a catch right at the top. Go ahead and pull it up and watch him catch a 105-mile-an-hour hit. He traveled, the ball traveled 405 feet. Young ran 93 feet to make the catch. Watch him brace, time it, and run up the meshing on it and tell me that is not the best baseball has to offer.
I mean, that's
great.
every kid's dream is that Spider-Man catch
It's
right there.
everything except for going over the wall, but the size of that wall, it's awesome. It wasn't a home run saving catch, but certainly a double, maybe a triple.
And that was Lone Depot Park in Miami.
So that was it. Okay, in Miami, just a absolutely ridiculous catch. I believe the Nationals lost that game, but who cares? That highlight will be in reels for a very long time. I mentioned it earlier. We were going to have a guest join us, Mr. Will Ortner. We're going to talk some Seahawks, couple bad injuries in the preseason game over the weekend. Some starters, not many starters playing in that. So we'll kind of get a gauge on where the defending Super Bowl champs are. We'll do that next. But first, let's walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk and see what we missed.
First on the Fan, some NFL news per Adam Schefter, as the Cardinals, they have activated edge rusher Josh Sweat from the physically unable to perform list, and by doing so, they have waived injured running back Trey Benson. Benson has been with the team for the past think 3 to 5 years. And
Yeah, he just pops up every once in a while. I don't think he's a huge impact player. The running back position, even though there are a lot of great players at the top, is still a turnstile across the league. And there's a lot of teams that are going to roll out guys in game one that you're going to be like, who's that? Who's that?
Especially when you draft a guy like Jeremiah Love. You have James Conner coming off of injury.
Yep.
That's probably the right
We'll miss you. We'll miss you, Benson.
The Raiders have also released veteran wide receiver Noah Brown. Noah Brown was responsible for the Hail Mary catch in Washington a few years ago. He has now been released by the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right.
And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm lowercase from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube.
right, kids, it is a Monday. We try to get somebody smarter than me to talk with sports. Will Ortner is our guy today. Will, how are you, buddy?
Doing all right, man. How are you?
Well, I've got a couple questions before we get into the Seahawks because they just flat out confuse me. I think we made it up to number 48 on the list of reasons why I hate college football last week, and that trend is continuing. Apparently, Lane Kiffin is leaving voicemails for Todd Monken so he can get guys off of the Cleveland Browns roster to go back to LSU. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, well, there's a one-time loophole right now because in college football, they've moved to a 5-for-5 deal. And apparently, if you got 4 years, but you didn't use a redshirt year or a medical year, they can go after you and keep you in college football. Anthony Hankerson just got waived from the Seahawks. He is going to go back in college football. The rumor is that Nebraska. So I think we should all just be happy that this mixing about players in the next.
Yeah, so does that mean you and I can go back and get some playing time in college football?
I'm good. You can take them up. You can have two.
I would die so quickly. The other thing, since we're talking about the Cleveland Browns and Todd Monken, after his quarterback goes out, plays terrible, gets booed, yells at the fans, they've made Deshaun Watson the starting quarterback. Did the Browns win a game this year?
Yeah, they'll win one or two, and then they'll switch QBs because Deshaun Watson will suck, and Shador will be in, and he'll win one or two, and they'll still suck. And they're going to, for whatever reason, lead every single show on ESPN, and it's all we're ever going to talk about until we all realize that the Cleveland Browns suck at football, and we should just ignore them and fire them into this.
Yeah. How many games does Dylan Gabriel start?
I think that answer is 0, and I feel weird saying that at the home of the Ducks. But I think they're out on him at this point. I think they're looking at the 2027 QB draft class, and they're like, which one of these guys can we get our hands on?
Yeah. All right, let's go over to Seahawks. Kind of a bad night for them last night against the Titans, not necessarily from a football standpoint, but on the first defensive snap, you lose Bud Clark for a couple months with a broken ankle. Mason Richmond is going to be out. They said a long-term injury, so you lose depth in the secondary where it's been well publicized that they would like to get help. You lose a couple guys in the offseason. They've been signing whoever's out there available, whether it's Trayvon Diggs or Terrion Arnold. Sounds like they'll still sign him when they figure out whatever's going on with the exempt list. So we know the secondary is thin. Obviously, offensive line depth is important as the season goes on. How concerned are you with those two injuries? And you can add Jake Bobo into that we heard about on Friday.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, if you're a PNW guy, don't go to Nashville. On our show this morning, Seahawks Today, we listed all the major injuries, and there might be a Will Ortner sighting from major injuries when going to Broadway in Nashville. I'll tell you this, if you're a PNW guy, stay far, far away. Injuries seem to continue to pile up over there. I don't know what the Seahawks are going to do when you look at that safety room. Right now, I don't see any real big safeties on the trading block. Also, Seattle signed a handful of guys either last year, like a Maxon Hook, or you could look at Rodney Thomas, someone that they signed in free agency, where Seattle might look at this situation and go, look, yes, it sucks that Bud Clark is injured and he's going to miss an extended period of time, but we don't necessarily need to go and trade for anybody because we like the depth pieces that we added for guys who could be fringe 53-man roster additions, and now there's an open spot for those guys. On the offensive line, you have a lot of young talent. Losing Richmond is going to hurt you, but I do think that you kind of were prepped for this. You built yourself up for this. Where I have some interest and some intrigue is at wide receiver positions, right? Jake Bobo did a lot for you on special teams.
Yep.
So if he is not going to be able to go this year, which he is not going to be able to go, are you for sure trusting Cody White, Emmanuel Henderson? Are you trusting Montorie Foster Jr. to be able to come in and fill all of the roles that Bobo did? Now, we all know that Foster has become a fan favorite. He's certainly a favorite of mine and the special lady friend, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be a big-time performer on special teams for this team. So I think you're going to see Seattle potentially explore a seventh-round trade and get back a player that wasn't going to make another team's 53-man roster You see a lot of teams do this. Don't be shocked if the Seahawks kind of explore some of those options for someone who's a little bit more, I don't want to say guaranteed, but someone who's had a little more experience on special teams and can definitely add to this.
Are there any of the guys in the running back room that can add to special teams as well? I mean, Jacardia Wright had the big run, and obviously his name is being talked about quite a bit. Velus Jones looked good to me when we were up at Seahawks practice. So, Will Ortner, do you see anybody that can maybe fill the Jake Bobo role and add depth to the running back room?
If there was going to be anyone, I feel like it's Velus Jones, and that's a little bit just because some teams he's a running back, some teams he's a wide receiver. He's a jack of all trades, master of none type deal, which unfortunately gets you barely on the roster or as a practice squad type of a player. But if he's going to make this team, it's going to be on special teams, and you need someone to fill kind of that gunner role that Jake Bobo was filling. And Bobo was a player who was on all special teams, by the way. He was on every special teams except for field goal kick, which – that has its own conversations right now. So when you look at what Bobo was doing, maybe there's a way for you to kind of moneyball this situation where it's like, hey, you know what? We want to keep Montorie Foster Jr. That's a guy where we can have him fill in for Bobo on kickoff and kick return. And then maybe Emmanuel Henderson is someone that pops in for you on punt and punt return on those Bobo roles. But you have to remember, Seattle lost Derek Young as well in free agency. And he was someone who added a lot to your special teams. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration right now in Seattle. I feel like the team did a great job of making a bunch of depth signings and depth pieces, but where the injuries do pop up is kind of where Seattle was like, I don't know that you can survive a bunch of injuries in those positions.
Outside of those main questions for the Seahawks, Will Ortner is the host of Seahawks Today on Chat Sports. You can find that on YouTube. What stories are you covering? Because through the preseason, we're obviously not seeing a lot of starters. You kind of know what you're getting. Almost everybody returned from the Super Bowl team. The running back room is a question. We've talked about the secondary. What else are you following if we're not going to see any Sam Darnold, if we're not going to see any JSN, if we're not going to see the big names that will be playing in week one? What are you following at Chat Sports?
The big stuff right now is all going to be right around that roster projection 53-man stuff. So expect to see a lot of stuff from us at Seahawks Today about guys who could potentially be on the chopping block. We put a video out on Sunday. Highly recommend that you go and check that out. We talked a lot about Jalen Milroe on there, and I felt kind of weird at the time of saying he could be a gut candidate. After watching last night's performance, I don't feel that way anymore, man. I like the kid. I think he does things all the correct way. I thought he looked bad. I thought he looked really, really bad, and there hasn't been a lot of progression and development from him. I know that he's a raw talent, but you'd like to hope that there would be a little bit of improvement. The offense can't move when he's out on the field as the quarterback.
Unless he tucks and runs. Yeah, unless he decides to just – he's so fast.
I don't know what's happening. It's a bit ridiculous. Like, I feel bad because I want him to be successful. I want him to either be a jerk, so it's like, yeah, whatever, get him out of here. Or I want him to be successful because he's a nice guy, and he's a nice guy. But it just feels like it's a failed experiment. I like the idea behind it, but it didn't work. We're going to be doing some roster projection, and actually about 15 minutes from now, half hour, we're going to be live on our channel as well. So we're going to be talking about latest rumors, and we're going to be talking with the fans kind of the way that you guys do it in the radio land. It's a little different for us in YouTube, but I'm excited to kind of see where the Seahawks fans are at as we go into the final week. Because remember, roster cutdown day is on Sunday.
Oh, it's that quickly, and we'll have one more preseason game at the Chiefs, and then it's going to be Wednesday. Casey, your face is making an insane look. Is there something we need to know? Breaking news here. We're with Will Ortner from Seahawks Today, and Casey's got something big for us, it looks like.
I know this isn't Seahawks related, but we have some Blazers news.
All right.
Shaedon Sharpe expected to miss 6 months with a torn meniscus. This is according to Blazers Edge. Portland Trailblazers guard Shaedon Sharpe has suffered a torn meniscus in his right knee and is expected to be sidelined for 6 months. The injury occurred during an offseason workout recently and will sideline Sharpe for a significant period of time.
Oh, no. What are you going to do with only 7 guards?
guess now.
No, that's a tough one. Shaden Sharp, but speaking of guys, Jalen Milroe, a guy that you want to see either be great or be terrible, so you can make a decision on. Shaden Sharp certainly sits in that area. Thanks for that update, Casey. Any thoughts on that real quick, Mr. Ortner? I know you're still a Blazers guy.
I am still a Blazers guy. My initial thought on that is, why can't this guy ever stay healthy? He is the ultimate. Get him out there on the court for 5 to 10 games. He looks awesome. He misses dunks because he hits his head on backboards, and then he's hurt. He is a Ferrari, and unfortunately, he drives over a lot of potholes.
Well, yeah, I think that's exactly right. I mean, if you had that kind of athletic ability, you'd jump out of your own body too and end up hurt. It's the Vince Carter thing. People asked him if he could still jump like he used to when he was getting into year 20, 21, 22, and he said, "Yeah, I can still jump. It's landing that's hard." So I think just elevating like that is probably not the best idea for this young fella. Unfortunately, it feels like a lot of wasted talent so far in his career. Let's go back to the NFL. My brother asked me a question that I did not have an answer to last night when we were watching the Seahawks preseason game. Is Cam Ward good?
That's so funny. I know you talked to the great Brett Alper last week.
Yeah, we did.
He is not a fan of Cam Ward. I am somewhere in between. I feel like Cam Ward is a 16 to 18-year-old boy learning to drive, right? When you get in the car, you're probably going to get from point A to point B, but it's going to be scary. You're grabbing the top handle. He's driving all around. He's driving way over the speed limit, then he's way under the speed limit because he's trying to text some people, text his boys, trying to meet up with them. He's just very erratic. I think he will be good. I think he can be good. But right now, he needs to start focusing on the details of what he's doing. He's not focusing on the details. He's thinking about trying to be flashy. He's thinking about, trying to drift his car in the school parking lot when no one's there, except for a couple of his buddies who he posted on his Snapchat or Instagram story. He needs to get into the film room and figure out his technique. And he needs a quarterback coach to get him locked in because right now it's a problem.
Well, he's got Brian Dable, he's got Robert Saleh, so it sounds like the new leadership is being raved about, at least from the broadcast last night. We'll see if it ends up working out for Cam Ward. Big thanks to Will Ortner. You said in 15 minutes, 30 minutes or so, people can see you live on Chat Sports.
Yeah, we'll be live at 5:15 Central, so 3:15 for you guys. Right in time for that first Isaac and Suk break. So you can listen to those guys. Obviously, listen to the end of this wonderful show, and then you can flip us on YouTube and then go back to Isaac and Suk afterwards.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Will Ortner. We'll talk to you again in a few weeks, I'm sure. But right now, we need to get to some In Case You Missed It and send you off with one more for the road. We do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network. In case you missed it, 49ers owner Jed York just pleaded no contest after getting caught in an undercover prostitution sting in Ohio, where he allegedly tried to pay $140 for sex. I hope he paid. I hope that he paid extra for the police role play and sat in the back of the car thinking, "Man, these whores are really committed to the scene." I think we all had the same thought when we thought of this story. I can't believe this guy has $140 just laying around and hasn't extended Christian McCaffrey yet. Did you think that, Casey? Is that... Today's arrest has to be tough for Jed York, but since taking over the day-to-day control of the 49ers in 2008, his team has made it to 3 Super Bowls and lost every single one. So if nothing else, Jed's used to getting close but not finishing. So I think he'll be okay. In case you missed it, world number 1, Scotty Scheffler played through painful blisters at the BMW Championship after contracting hand, foot, and mouth disease. That's what you get, Scotty. Just because you're rich and famous doesn't mean you get to ignore the age limit signs on the McDonald's ball pit. That's not where you belong. Here's a direct quote from Scotty Scheffler. "If I was smarter, maybe I would have pulled out." Find me a dad. It's a true quote. Find me a dad who hasn't had that exact same thought when their kid sneezes directly into their mouth. Keep an eye on Scotty in the next tournament. See if you can spot the new sponsor patches he's wearing. Purell, Pedialyte, and Trojan condoms. That'll be interesting. Nike allows that. In case you missed it, Norwegian World Cup hero and Manchester City superstar Erling Haaland chopped off his signature blonde Viking locks ahead of the new Premier League season. Yay! The spell is broken, America. We can go back to ignoring soccer. So nice to have the burden listed. Now the only reason to know that Zlatan Ibrahimovic is furious about Haaland cutting his hair is if Apple TV parodies The Meltdown on Ted Lasso. We'll be okay.
Zlatan, what do you mean?
Yeah. In case you missed it, All-Star Ketel Marte was caught gambling in a casino while his Diamondbacks were in the middle of a game. This just days after abandoning his team in Boston, then being sent back to Arizona because of a mysterious knee injury. Man, if I had $1 for every time we saw this story, the classic MIA, MRI, ATM move. It's happened so many times. And to make things worse, there were multiple reports that Marte was splitting tens. Like, if you're going to... No? Is that... No on the blackjack joke?
Booing on splitting tens.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's a boo for Marte, not for the joke. All right. And finally, in case you missed it, Chinese humanoid robots broke multiple human athletic records, including Usain Bolt's 100-meter sprint record on the opening day of the World Humanoid Robot Games in Beijing. Over 2,000 humanoid robots competed in 51 events like running, table tennis, weightlifting, and human annihilation. It was quite the scene. Did you catch any?
Where's Hugh Jackman when you need it?
What's that?
Where's Hugh Jackman when you need it?
Yeah. A humanoid robot running faster than Usain Bolt seems pretty impressive until I found out that it tested positive for WD-40. It wasn't actually... After the World Humanoid Games, the robots will be deployed to the U.S. to start protesting about robots' right courtside at WNBA games. So get ready for that. All right. If you missed any part of this show, past shows, future shows, find the podcast at 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, lowercase. Is there anything that we need to address from the fan text line or YouTube chats?
Again, just a lot of Shaedon Sharpe love right now.
It's a tough spot. Fan favorite for 2 out of every 10 games, and then absolutely trash for 3 out of those same 10 games. So I don't know what you're going to do, but out 6 months, maybe there's a chance that he's back by the end of the not playoff run that the Blazers don't have at the end of the season. What are you going to do? 15 days, 14 hours, 24 minutes, and 51 seconds until the kickoff to the
Let's
NFL
grab one
season.
more for the road.
You watch any MLS over the weekend, lowercase?
You know I did.
Yeah,
Got
did you
myself some Timbers?
Did you catch the San Jose Minnesota match?
No, I didn't.
Oh, in stoppage time, the game was interrupted when a baby ran onto the field. How about that? That's not the most
baby.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. A baby ran out, ended up being a toddler of the Earthquakes goalkeeper. His name is Angus Gunn. Angus, Gunn. Angus, how good of a rock and roll name is that? Of course he's rock and roll. He just leaves his baby there to his own devices, running around unsupervised. Luckily, it was in the Bay Area, and former San Francisco Giants first baseman J.T. Snow went and scooped up the baby, and everybody's fine. So it was all good in the end. So
I'm going to try to pull this audio for you for Wednesday, because I'm reading this article. There's going to be some great calls.
All right. Well, that'll be fantastic. Big thanks to Will Ortner joining us. If you want to check out his Chat Sports Live, that'll be coming up in just a few minutes. Go on to YouTube only during primetime breaks, of course. Big thanks to Lowercase. Thank you, everybody that listened. And, of course, thank you, Isaac Ropp. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.